Hi, from Hyde Park. Love you, bye. Hello? I'm crying because of the wind. This is not really a check-in video because it's like a month after the challenge, but I'm in Hyde Park, where Obama lives, or used to live, I guess. I used to actually, fun fact, I used to teach piano to one of his daughter's good friends. So I taught piano one day a week down here for like 4 or 5 years, I think. And so I'm on my way to Wisconsin, and I like to, whenever I drive through Chicago, just kind of pull off and stop at places that I used to spend a lot of my life. And of the many times I've been back to Chicago since moving to Michigan, I've never stopped in Hyde Park again, because it's kind of out of the way. Drove through University of Chicago territory. That was one of my first Hyde Park piano lessons was. Right by the water, right by Lakeshore Drive. Anyway, I'm gonna get back in my car now, and this is a real interesting check-in video. What was I gonna say? Okay, so it's been a month since the challenge, and I was feeling really mopey and weepy a lot of the time. It's very hard to go from getting a lot of affirmation every day, even if it is just in the form of a couple like non-committal likes from people. It's hard to go from that every day. And the feeling of accomplishment every day was also much more rewarding or gratifying. Even if it's a very fake and thin kind of accomplishment, that was almost addictive. I didn't realize how much, no matter how many things I didn't get done in a day, if I got my one song done in a day, I felt like I was accomplishing something. And to do that for a year straight and feel that sense of accomplishment, and then to have it go away and go back to feeling like I have piles of to-do lists and piles of to-dos and, projects that I want to be getting done. And I'm just not as good at the long-range planning without deadlines, I'm noticing. And so I think that's why I was an A+ student for most of my life in school. That was an external thing. Someone told me, this is due on this day, and you had to learn to prioritize. You had to learn to... Hello. I'm in Chicago. Okay, I don't want to make check-in videos while driving, but there's some city scenery. I'm going to stop at a light. So, anyway, maybe I'll go pull over when I get to the north side. To be continued, bye. So, the only reason I really moved away from Chicago, because I love Chicago, was that the person I was with at the time was struggling to stay employed, and this is not an inexpensive city to live in. And so it just didn't make much sense to be struggling so hard when, he was doing worse and worse financially and in other ways, but that's not my story to tell. And so anyway, it just became harder and harder to envision how to have a life here. Now I'm driving. There's the lake. So yeah, I was very involved in theater when I came here. I was offered an internship with the Goodman for dramaturgy. I was in a touring children's theater as the pianist and songwriter. Chicago was a good fit for me. It was a little hard in the singer-songwriter world. I had a really hard time finding where I belonged with that. Probably because my interests were so mixed, and we're also in theater, despite not really being in musical theater, which I guess is a confusing mix, that I loved theater so much but not really musical theater. I did do a lot of music directing, but that was just for money. Okay, hold on. So this is Grant Park over there. That's where like Taste of Chicago happens. There's like Navy Piers up there. I've been coming to this city since I was a kid. I won some little trip when I was in 4th grade, I think. There's the fountain. I love this city. It's beautiful. The buildings are beautiful. The vibe is beautiful. The politics are beautiful. The working class, blue collar kind of vibe is beautiful to me. It's right on Lake Michigan. Yeah. But, you know, like I said, here and New York, I struggled with that in New York too. In New York, my student loans kicked in right away at like 6 months out of school, and I had to move away because New York's even more expensive. So, I'm gonna stop. I also feel a lot of sadness when I come through here now because one of my best friends used to live here, and now she doesn't. She lives outside Minneapolis now, and I have a lot of acquaintances for sure. But I used to feel like I could come here anytime, and now it's 3 hours away. It's not that close. And hotels are expensive around here, and we do have friends we could stay with, but yeah. I mean, my sister lives about an hour and a half north. This is not an interesting check-in video. I'm just talking. So I guess what I'm checking in about is just the feeling of life and time passing and nothing really grounding you. It's kind of like flying or like driving and talking on a phone. Okay, hold on. Alright, so now I'm at Montrose Harbor, north side of town. That's the loop. I don't know, it's pretty small and far away. I don't think I can zoom in once it's already going. But yeah, I'm on the other side of it now. Like 4400 north, if you know the grid system. Yeah, so it's Chicago. It's just a place. It's just that it's a big place, and it feels loud to me in a good way. Like it has an existence and a being. So does New York. Yeah, I guess I just feel sad when I drive through because it's very hard to keep starting over and to leave chapters of your life in places. And then that makes it so none of the places really feel right. Like Chicago feels like me in my 20s and early 30s. Barely early 30s. And then, I don't know. I've been in Michigan for 6 years now. It doesn't really feel like home, but it doesn't not feel like home. It's just a place. I don't know. Maybe Chicago was like that a little bit when I was here, but especially when I left. Whenever I left and came back, I was like, ew, because it takes like an hour to even get into anywhere pretty. I would see all the gridlock and just be like, ew, why am I here? So, I don't know. Maybe that's just a thing some people have. Grass is greener. General ennui, as they say. Yeah. I'm glad I made peace with this city, though. I thought I wouldn't, after how hard leaving was and the reasons that I left.